What's up, everybody? BC here. Welcome back to another episode of Supreme Being. I'm filming this Wednesday, March 17th. I'm in the middle of packing all of my shit to move out of California. I think I'll officially be moved out by the end of April, if not early May, like 100%. And I'm going to start the transition here pretty soon. But again, I'm shooting this on a Wednesday. I'm going to be touring next week with Team BC. So if you guys would like to see us in Orlando area, Tampa area, those two in Florida, or Wednesday in Nashville, Tennessee, if you're in those surrounding areas, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, go ahead and reach out to me on social media and I will send you a link to sign up for the free trainings that I'm going to be doing out there. Just let me know on Instagram or Facebook. All right. So let's directly get into this. Again, sponsored by Team BC, my real estate team. If you need anything real estate, message me personally or go to teambcsold.com. And Modern Success, I got to give a shout out to the Modern Success family. Love you guys. If you guys are interested in getting more training from me and support personally from me, go to the link in my bio on Instagram or go to bryancasella.com and sign up for Modern Success. All right. Let's see. I wrote down 4 things here before I got on. I know it's a little bit later than we normally do it, but 4 things that I do and that I recommend that you do on a daily basis to really keep you sharp and make sure that you continue your evolution as a human being, because I feel like these activities help all the way around. And, they're really slept on, especially the first one that I'm going to cover today. And it almost like upsets me. And I'm going to talk about that for a little bit because it's kind of ridiculous. All right. So here's number 1, right? Give credit, pay homage to the people who paved the way for you, the people who helped you. Take a look at me over the years. Like if you really dig through my YouTube channel, how many shout outs I've done to authors and, coaches and mentors who have helped me, featuring them on pictures and a bunch of stuff for years. You might not have seen it maybe recently, but man, my first 4, 5, 6 years, boom, 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 all the time, sharing quotes, doing collaborations all the time to give them credit and pay homage to let people know, hey, this is an individual who helped me. Nowadays, it almost seems like nobody wants to do that. I understand the whole self made thing. I get it. Because technically, to an extent, we all are, but all of us receive some sort of help. Whether you read books or somebody gave you advice, everybody gets help. And I don't know what's going on today. Like it's like nobody either wants to get help or nobody wants to give credit. Or I don't want to say nobody. We'll say very few people. And it really trips me out because a lot of stuff is indirectly handled by doing this. As an example, you hear people say, well, so and so, and I don't like the use of this word, but it's a good for reference here in regards to what we're discussing today. People will say that somebody success or their improvement and their growth has made them like too big headed and they've lost touch with reality. Like that's something people say regularly. Okay. Now, I guess to an extent that can be true. I believe that innately success and attention and all that, it literally just amplifies like what you already are. So if you are a bad person and then you acquire money and power, it's just going to allow you to be a more bad person on a bigger scale because now you have money and power, right? And vice versa. If you're a good person at heart and by nature, you having more money, power, and influence is obviously going to allow you to do more good in the world, right? That's what I believe. But for the reference of this, if somebody isn't giving credit and they're trying to take credit for everything themselves, or they're just not being open like that, I think that's one of the major contributing factors to what we just discussed and what I just brought up. I really think it is. Because if I'm always collaborating and shouting out the people who paved the path for me, et cetera, it's very easy for you to always be kind of looking back and saying, man, this is where I came from. This is where I started. These are the people that helped me. And not only does it inspire good memories in you, but it keeps you connected to your lineage and the people who paved the way for you, right? And I think that's cool. And it's important that you stay connected with those people, which is, again, an indirect result of giving credit. You don't think that person's going to appreciate it? For sure they are, right? Because I know they get DMs, you tag them, you do videos with them. Like go back on my YouTube and watch a lot of people who I've interviewed. I've recently interviewed Mike Wolf, who shout out to him, right? Got me into the real estate investing game. I'd been on the fence. Boom. I jump in with him and floodgates open. And I just interviewed him recently on my channel, right? AZD, Arash, shout out to him and IMC Nation, right? I've done stuff with Mike Ferry and a bunch of other people. So If you go back on my YouTube channel or go to my Facebook and stuff years ago, you'll see pictures together, shout outs, this and that, sharing their quotes. I like doing that on a regular basis because it feeds a side of you that's not going to be fed otherwise. You start to believe your own bullshit, and a lot of people do. If this is one of those things that you do not do, right? If you even go to the link in the description on my YouTube videos, you'll see I have a list of probably 6 or 7 books that I recommend to people on top of all the other books that I've recommended over the years on YouTube as well. So this, I think, is a consistent process that you need to go over. It's not like every minute of every day you have to do it, but I think that the people who, you drew inspiration from and got help from directly have to be shouted out and recognized for what they did, right? And I just think that's super important, and I feel like that's kind of swept under the rug today and people don't really pay attention to it. All right. Here's number 2, and this is something I do so regularly, and I think it's extremely important, right? In regards to communication, do a little bit extra every day. Like, go out of the norm for you and other people a little bit every day. As an example, how many of you listening to this podcast right now maybe go to the market and you run, let's say, 3 or 4 errands a day where you're out at a location and you see other people, and maybe you don't even open your mouth. You don't say hi to anybody. You don't engage in communication with anybody. That's the experience for most human beings on this planet, believe it or not. Now, to me, it seems like torture, but to most people, that's the experience that they're going to have. So I would recommend to you, make it a thing every day now that you're going to talk to at least 1 or 2 people. Start a conversation with somebody. The person who checks you out at the grocery store, stop with them. Start with them, I mean, and talk to them a little bit. Do something out of the norm, a little extra from communication. Go out of your way to, instead of just saying thank you to somebody, shake their hand and really give them a good smile, right? Little acknowledgments here and there. That's all I'm asking for. Now, this for me has become a practice in my life as a daily thing. And I can tell you, it opens so many doors. I look at some friendships that I have and connections and opportunities that have been presented to me because I did that. Imagine that person that you've walked by at that store and never said anything to is the person that if you just strike up a conversation with them, maybe they can help you with their business, or they'll be a future business partner in a new endeavor that you do 5 years down the road because of where your friendship with them takes you. What if you just strike up a conversation with somebody somewhere and they end up becoming a friend, and 3 years down the road, you help each other with something? Or they just happen to know a person that can hook you up with this one thing that you want, or this one location you need to get to, or you're traveling to so and so and they know somebody who lives in that area who can give you a tour, or who can have you as a guest for a day or two and give you, inside access to some place that otherwise you wouldn't be able to get. So I think that's cool. And I think that's something that has to be done a little bit more often because it's really that spice or zest for life, in my opinion, because that creates those spontaneous conversations and opportunities and occurrences that otherwise most people don't have. But you need to understand that that is generated. There was a cause point to that, meaning the person who initiated the communication, who started it. And I think people miss that. So it takes you stepping in and having to take control and do it. Whereas most people will just passively play the game. Like the stories that I give about, I'll get in an Uber with an Uber driver and I'll have a 10 or 15-minute ride. Then they'll stop their Ubering and come eat with me and then come to one of my presentations. How am I doing that in a 10 or 15-minute conversation? It's not because I'm special. It's because I'm doing a little bit extra and going out of my way to communicate with the person and have a different level of experience. And that level of experience is accessible to anybody else if you take it to that level. And that's the frontier I want people to push, because that's the type of person who does that stuff that then continues to do things that other people deem incredible or out of this world when it's really not. It's just a little bit of extra effort in one category of life over time compounded. That's really all it is. Okay. Number 3, help somebody. If you're like me, and let's say you have a following at all and you're getting DMs, you don't have to help everybody. We don't have time to do that, but help somebody. If you don't have anything on social media, help somebody. Every day I'm walking or doing something, I find somebody that I can help. Somebody needs help putting their groceries. Somebody needs help crossing the street, right? Sometimes some of my neighbors are bringing in their trash cans and I happen to be out there. I'll help them wheel the trash cans up. Why not? There's 2 of us, makes it faster. You only have to do 2 trips instead of 3. You're welcome, neighbor. Sometimes I'll sit there. I'm like, you know what? For the next 20 minutes, I'm just going to answer DMs as best as I can. And maybe I'll send some voice messages and do my best to go through and comb through a lot of them. And I get a ton on email, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I can't even keep up anymore. But although I don't, and I cannot answer everybody, I'll get on there and, okay, let me help. Same thing with this. There's a lot of days that I don't feel like doing the fucking podcast, but I know a lot of people listen. A lot of my newer podcasts get 1,000 or 2,000 downloads within the first day or two. Just my newest one. That's not including the other ones. So it's almost like I have an obligation now, because some people come back and I get these messages and reviews. Man, just your podcast has been so good. Cool. I do it for me, but I do it for other people too, which is another reason we keep pushing a lot of this stuff on these platforms. Part of it is to give and to help, because I know I wish I had my voice in my corner when I started. Would have made things a little bit more, I don't know, I don't want to say easier, but it would have given a lot of perspective on what I was going through. And I would have probably lessened a lot of the self-inflicted damage that I was doing to myself mentally, right? And I think that's where most people, that's the specific category that a lot of people have hangups with. A lot of that, emotional damage or halting on your journey or obstacles. A lot of that stuff is self-imposed, and it's created all between the ears. So if one voice of reason helps somebody, great. But I want to, and all of you listening, I'm sure in some category in life, because even the most day-to-day stuff that I gave in the beginning, but there's got to be something that you can help somebody with. And if you just interact with life and you're out there, you're going to come across somebody that you can help. For sure. Whether it's in your own family, a friend, somebody, right? And offer that, because I think it's really cool if you do that. And it always comes back. Here's another one that I think is misconstrued, is spend some time alone every day. I love the morning. Cold shower, read, meditate. That's kind of what I have on rotation. That's time for me in the morning. That's a good hour, hour and a half right there, which is incredible. Primes me for the day, keeps me locked and loaded, keeps me moving in a straight line. It's fantastic. But from a society level, if you do that, some people will say, well, you're a loner and this and that. No, because I'm doing it by choice. I'm spending time on my own by choice. It's not because I can't have friends and I can't communicate. I'm doing it by choice. If I want to be around people, I can do that 24/7 if I want. But why? Why would I feel like I have to do that? Don't we love our time alone? I know I do. I know many people do. So where's the hang up? So be purposeful and intentful with this. And I think it's really going to help you, because it has to be a priority and a focus for most people. And in that time alone, you can do whatever you want. But I would recommend that you engage in activities and things that feed your mind and your soul and help you. For me, like the cold showers, the meditations, the reading, love that stuff. Creating stuff like this, filming videos, for me is fantastic. Reviewing my day, my week, my month, my year. That's the stuff I enjoy doing by myself. And I think a lot of people don't take the time to do that. They just float through their days, or they're looking for something outside of themselves to entertain them 24/7. Point I always give: how many of you can actually sit there in silence and be okay? I know a lot of people who can't, and they need music in the background or something, or else they go crazy, in quotes. That's not normal. That's not normal. Okay. So, I got to finish packing. I am on the road again tomorrow morning. I'll be flying out. If you guys didn't hear in the beginning, we're touring again in Florida and Tennessee. I'll be in Orlando Monday. I'll be in the Tampa area and Lakeland on Tuesday, and Nashville, Tennessee on Wednesday. If you guys need the link for the sign up, I'm doing a free training, right, for about 2 hours and Q&A. You guys can message me directly and I'll send it to you and you can sign up. Other than that, shout out to Team BC nationwide. If you need anything, reach out to me or someone on the team. And lastly, Modern Success. If you're looking for more personal training from me, join Modern Success at the link in my bio on Instagram, or you can go to bryancasella.com. All right. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.